Good afternoon, and thanks for spending some time with us, continuing this conversation on cover crops and prevent plant. Today is Thursday, June 20th in the afternoon today, and some exciting news today that came from USDA, from RMA, in the form of a manager's bulletin. There's been some relief given on cover crops and when you can hay or graze and even chop now. Those rules have changed for this year, and I just wanted to kind of update you. This slide deck we covered a couple weeks ago, but wanted to update you on this new breaking news that just came out this morning. So a little bit of background. The manager's bulletin was delivered out today to the approved insurance providers, the insurance companies, and the first paragraph really just says, well, why they're doing this. It says, historical flooding and excessive rainfall throughout much of the country will likely lead to an unprecedented amount of prevent plant claims under federal crop insurance. Given these extraordinary events and the need for animal feed in many parts of the country, flexibility around the use of a cover crop planted on prevent plant acreage for haying, grazing, or cutting for silage, haylage, and baleage has become necessary. And it goes on to talk about what those rules are, and I just wanted to kind of walk through that with you here real quick. So as we mentioned on a previous webinar, there is a chart that deals with cover crops out of the actuarials, and this first section is dealing with cover crops that was seeded early, before the final plant date of that corn, so meaning old cover crop, 2018 cover crop. I'm not going to go into great detail here, as our previous recording kind of covers this slide in more detail. I'm going to really camp out on this piece of the cover crop chart that's found in the handbook, and this is dealing with prevent plant corn or soybeans for that matter, prevent plant first crop, spring crop, and then you're going to go ahead and plant a cover crop now. And I wanted to walk through this because this is the best slide to explain this change. So first of all those areas in the middle where it lists November 1st as the date, that date has now been moved up to September 1st. And this is for the 2019 crop year. So all those dates that say November 1st there, they all now are September 1st. So what does that mean? Okay, so if I plant the cover crop now during the late plant period of either corn or soybeans, I still can't harvest that cover crop, and the definition there has changed a little bit, but what they're meaning here is I can't harvest it for grain, okay? If I do that, I'm still going to get $0 for my prevent plant claim, as you see in that far right column. The middle area here, hay or grazed on or after November 1st, again, that date has now changed to September 1st. So now I can hay or graze that cover crop, and they added the terminology silage, cut for silage, or chopped. They added that in the language as well, so I can hay, graze, or chop for silage a cover crop after September 1st and still get all of my prevent plant claim payment, okay? That's what's changed on this chart. And then the bottom area there, if I go ahead and hay or graze it before that September 1st new date, then I will also get $0 paid on my prevent plant. So what does this mean? So prior to today, RMA was defining chopping as harvesting, and now they've lifted that and they've given some relief there. So now I can hay, I can graze, and I can also chop for silage. They've taken that kind of gray, confusing language out for the moment, as long as I wait until after September 1st. Okay, so this is huge for the amount of feed shortage that we have in a lot of our northern territories. This will be big. Some words of caution that I want to share right now as your mind might start to spin. All of the same cover crop rules apply outside of just the date being changed and the ability to actually chop. So a cover crop is still defined in the policy as a crop generally recognized by an agricultural expert as agronomically sound for the area for erosion control. Okay, so if you're going to start thinking about, well, now that I can chop the cover crop, maybe I'm going to use corn as a cover crop and then be able to chop it following my prevent plant corn. That's not going to be able to work because you still need an agricultural expert to sign off on the fact that the cover crop you've chosen is acceptable. And I would venture to say it's going to be hard to find someone to allow corn to be a cover crop. The book does say any crop can be used as a cover crop, but it has to be accepted by a local ag expert. It's got to be seeded at a cover crop rate, and it cannot be harvested for grain. So corn is just not a great use of a cover crop for erosion purposes. So that's one word of caution I would give you. The second word of caution I would give you is if you're an insured that has crop insurance and you've claimed prevent plant corn, and then you are going to plant a cover crop in this method that we've talked about today, and then you're going to allow a neighbor to come on and chop or hay or graze that feed or that cover crop because of their shortage of feed, if any money has changed hands, any revenue is gained, there could be potential problems with your prevent plant claim, because the foundation of prevent plant still states that anytime you're receiving a benefit off of that prevent plant ground, you're going to start to get a reduction in your prevent plant payment and that APH hit. And even though that corn or that cover crop, is not being harvested, if you sell it to a neighbor, you're still technically gaining revenue, gaining a benefit, a financial benefit off of that. Now you're going to start to get reductions in your prevent plant claim payment. So really the rule here is intended for guys that are going to claim prevent plant and then go ahead and plant a cover crop, an approved cover crop, and then they're giving you the flexibility to hay, graze, or chop that after September 1st as opposed to November 1st, as well as including that chopping language in there as well. So that's what it's for. So just wanted to give you some word of caution there. I would urge you to continue on to Compeer.com. As always, we have more videos and more resources out there. If you go to Compeer.com/preventplant, you can see all of these prevent plant videos and get up to speed. Contact your local Compeer crop insurance agent to discuss your situation in greater detail. But just thankful for your business and your time today as we wanted to update you on this breaking news. I hope you have a great rest of your Thursday. Give us a call if we can help in any way. Thank you and have a great day.